Hello again, everybody. Welcome to yet another edition of Journey Through Sports and Life. Marnie and Marjorie, and I'm Scott, and we're delighted to welcome you. And we welcome a special guest, a gentleman that was a sixth-round draft pick back in 1984. That's right, 40 years ago this year. How about that? But he still looks like he could play linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys as he did back then. Then spent a couple of years with the New England Patriots, and as they say, the rest is history. One of the great linebackers in the history of the National Football League. The man himself, Eugene Lockhart. How are you?
Scott Murray, I tell you what, I'm wonderful now that to be in you guys' presence because you guys are like gold. And Scott, you know I love you. We've done so many things together, and I'm just so glad that you reached out to me so we can continue to do the work, to do good work here in Dallas, Texas.
Well, we're delighted to welcome you. And I tell you what, Eugene, I want you to talk to some of our listeners and viewers and let people know what you're doing today. You spent a lot of years back in the 80s and 90s playing football in the NFL, but now tell us what you're doing.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing now. I'm just trying to get healthy. This past year, I was in the hospital some 9 months, perhaps 9 out of 12 months.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So it started out, I had the brain cancer, and it spread all the way down to my hip. But thanks be to God, I'm cancer-free. And then while that was going on, playing linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, almost 1,500 tackles, 16 concussions. My back decided that it don't want to stay in the right place, so therefore it just slips out of socket. So by doing that, all my nerve was already pinched in my neck from my neck down. Mm-hmm. So then we had to have the surgery. We had to do a complete 360. And when they cut me down the middle of my stomach, my whole entire body shut down. You know how the doomsday defense used to do?
Oh, yeah.
When we just want to just shut somebody down?
Yeah.
That's where my body decided to do me.
It returned the favor, huh?
It just shut me down. Your bowels, kidney, liver, everything just shut down. So I was in a coma, went to the coma, and then came out of that pretty early on that. Had that done, knee surgeries, two carpal tunnels. I've been through I'll just label it like this so you can understand. I've been through training camp to the Super Bowl. Now I'm in rehab, trying to get back on the field before training camp again.
Understand.
So, but nevertheless, God has tremendously been good to me. And if it was a time for me to go, it should have been within this past year.
Yeah.
But there's something else he has for me, and I'm elated to see exactly what it is. The year has started out slow, but I'm still this excited because I still continue to trust and have faith in the God that we serve. And I promise you, man, there was times I could not walk. I couldn't walk. And I worked out today, and I'm on the treadmill running at 7.5. So you can't tell me, whatever it is, whatever anybody that may be going through anything, just don't give up. Just look up, but never give up. Because I can promise you this, it's exciting to me just to know that we serve a God that not only can just sit high and look low, but he's able to do all things but fail. And then what he reminds you is that, hey, I am who I say that I am. And I just trust him, man. And I mean, again, to be walking around and having this conversation with these two beautiful ladies and your handsome self, Scott, I'm just glad to be here.
Well, I tell you what, somebody up there is liking you.
Yeah.
And watching out for you.
That's
so
right.
If you knew you were going to feel this way at this point in your life, would you have played football?
Yes, ma'am.
And why is that?
I love it. I love the game. And I conditioned my mind for it. When I was a young boy, at first my mom wouldn't let me play. And year after year after year, I continued to ask and beg to play. I understand why they didn't want me to play now, but I didn't then. And it was the Cotton Bowl when O.J. Simpson had broke that record, 2,003 tackles in the 1 year. It was and there was snowing and all of that. Mm-hmm. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, you know what? I can do that. Dad, I can do. And I'm trying to come a different way of asking them, can I play? So I said, Dad, I can do that. And then he looked at me and says, What in the world? Why do you keep asking me? Why you keep asking? What in the world makes you think you can do that? Are you just doing it for the cheerleaders or to look good? Why are you doing it? He said, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you play. He said, but one thing you can't do. He said, I don't care if you never play, you can't quit. He said, if you get hurt, you cannot ever quit. Later on in my life, when I came with the Cowboys, I asked him, I said, why were you so hard on me? Why did you tell me that? He said, son, one of the hardest things in life should be is for you to quit the first time. He said, because if you quit the first time, it's easy to find excuses. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody, mom and daddy or race. It's always something else. He said, the day that you quit, you can't come and live in my home. My dad is dead now, but I know his home is in heaven. I can't quit because I want to go home and see my dad again. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yes.
Now, is your mom deceased now too?
My mom's still living. She just came off for 4 months on the incubator. Man, we just been sick and like we've just been going through it here, but it's not what it looks like, and surely it's not the end of the story. You know, we all go through trials and tribulations. Mine don't look like yours, and yours won't look like mine. But somewhere in the midst of our life, you go through hard times and difficult times, and if it don't kill you, it will make you stronger. Yeah. But you'll know that it ain't all about you. The only reason that we are here anyway is to serve other people, and that's what we do. And we try just to make a difference in other people's lives and carry on. And just continue to trust in God.
Do you have kids, Eugene?
Lord, yes, I do. Oh, yes, I have 4 boys and 1 daughter. About 10 grandkids. I have 1 great.
1 great?
Yes, Lord. 1 great grandkid.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, man, and they are all wonderful. I love them dearly. They're all different personalities, but they all have something on the inside of them. It makes it look like me. So
really, in what respect? What are some of the things that you see inside them that remind you of?
They have that winning mentality.
Okay.
They have the winning mentality. They don't. You just no is not an option with them, you know, and they don't mind explaining to you how they feel. And you know, if you're in a meeting with myself or them, you don't have to worry. You don't have to wonder. Dang, I wonder what he meant by that. You will understand exactly what I meant before I leave you. So you don't have to call and say what you meant by that. You don't have to ask Marjorie and these beautiful young ladies, I wonder what Eugene meant by that. I'm going to let you know. And that's the way they have the personality, and they're loving and they're kind, and they've helped me tremendously. They've challenged me many times in my life. But through it all, the love and affection that we have for one another, it keeps uplifting our family every day.
Any potential football players among the boys?
I tell you what, man. My grandson Bryson, he's got it all. He has the attitude, work ethic, and I love him so much.
Does he want to follow in his grandpa's footsteps?
He says he's gonna play football, but he say, you know, when he wants something, I don't give it to him. He said, "Well, I'm not gonna wear your number. I'm not gonna play linebacker. I'm gonna play something else." When he don't get his way, yeah. But when he gets his way, he's number 56, right? He is number 56. I promise you.
How old
He's my fishing buddy. Love the fish, man. Just love the outdoors, such as I. And so you know, I can honestly, truly say I love him so much. I love all of them, but
How old
he's
is he?
here with me. He's 10 years old now. Mm-hmm. He's 10 years old.
So how did they endure what you were going through? You're in the hospital for 9 months. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
Eugene, what was that like for them?
They all came. I'm I'm an emotional person. They all came at one time or another. It was tough. It was tough because it was at a time when they were giving me the wrong medicine intravenously. They was giving me this stuff called methylcarbinol, and I went delusional. And not only that, I was on the incubator. They had put an incubator. So I guess I was close to being dead or something. I was in induced coma, supposed to be on there 60 days. I come out of the coma myself in 3. And then I had no idea that all this stuff was going on inside of me, this, that, and the other. So when I wake up, when I'm coming out of it, I feel this thing in my mouth, and naturally, it feels very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. It felt like chalk was down in my mouth. Then I look around, then I try to move, and I'm chained to a bed. I'm chained to a bed. And I say, and if this thing was bothering me so bad, I break the chains off, and I try to pull it out. I tried to pull it out. All of it came out about that much. And then I heard the word of the Lord say, pray first. Because at that time, it was over for me. I was ready to go. At that time, I started to pray. And then that's when I saw my destination. Remember this. My dad said I couldn't play. But then the next day when he told me I could play, I started running. I was running then to my destiny. I'm still running now. When I came off of that coma, when I came and I felt this incubator in my mind, see, I'm still running to my destiny. It wasn't over. He wasn't done with me yet. So after I prayed to God, and being an athlete, things like that, you've hurt a lot of people along the way. God gave me the opportunity. He gave me the opportunity to ask for forgiveness from each one of those people. I seen my life from 8 years old to where I am right now. Women, lying, drugs, alcohol, everything from Genesis to Revelation. If somebody said I did it, I probably did. But I asked God to allow me to feel some of the pain that I hurt other people with.
So you're a changed man today, is what you're saying.
Look at me. And it ain't from the outside. It's from the inside. But at least now, I know my destiny. I know my destiny. And the thing about your destiny is, even though you know it, it's still not easy to get there. There seems like it's more hills and more valleys and more mountains to climb. It seems like it. But one thing that I do know, that I've had to go through mountains and hills and valleys before. He's the same God, so if I had to go through it, I just have a few more to climb. And so I'm challenging myself, let's get ready to climb, because I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep on looking up. So whatever you go through in your life, hey, there ain't no such thing as pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. You got to know somebody. And a lot of times when you're going through things like I've been through prison for lied on and all this type of thing like that, it's hard to find friends. I have none. Every one of my friends turned their backs on me. I was alone, and I'm still alone today. I don't have anybody calling me. It's all right, though, because I have Jesus to call on. And it's tough when it's like that. This journey called football in life. Yes.
So when did you find Jesus? When did this happen?
Early age in life, because my mama and my dad taught us about it a long time ago. When back in the country, that's all we must go to church. Wednesday's Bible study and school and all of that. I'm from a place of 3,500 people, 4,000 people, very small. Everybody know everybody's business, and we had the telephones when you had party line, and everybody could hear your conversation. But we was raised in a community that everybody knew you and could discipline you and make sure you do the things the right way. And church was just one of the things that it wasn't an option.
Well, you said that you did things from Genesis to Revelation. So
I said I probably, not all of them.
Yeah, did you lose that and then come back?
Never, no ma'am. You never lose it. Mm-hmm. You may put it on hold, or you may think you put it on hold. Mm-hmm. And and when you feel like that, maybe God is just putting you in a reprobate mind. And then when you'll see it, because he's so true to his word when he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. He's true to his word. So even though I may have thought I left him, he didn't leave me. Mm-hmm. But he'll show back, whatever you think, he'll show back up through his spirit. And it's not that you won't hear him and you won't feel him. Whatever it is, you may not want to hear him because he's definitely speaking to you. And you will hear him loud and clear. Just like we're talking now, you'll hear him. You won't hear him in the thunderstorm and the rain, around a whole bunch of drama and nonsense and all this, going through all of this. No. It's in a quiet place. He said, you hear my voice in a quiet place. So that's where we are. But the journey has really humbled me and taught me so much.
Did you have, certainly the good Lord, number one, but did you have other people here on earth that were helpful to you, that didn't turn their back? You talked about a lot of your teammates and people, get out of my life, get out of my life. Did you have anybody out there?
And that didn't just start then. It just started when I went to prison.
Okay.
When I went to prison, I got this mortgage company.
Right.
And I had some guys, and I had no idea nothing about mortgage business, and I still don't. I know more about it now because I served 3.5, 4 years with it. It was then when I had to plead guilty for something, and I had to plead guilty. Listen to this. And I'm finding this out now because the prosecutors that prosecuted me, I saw them about 2 or 3 months ago. I had lunch with them, and they informed me that they did me injustice. And they knew it. They did me injustice. And promised me that we're going to try to do everything we can to get it overturned.
What'd they do?
Injustice, they sent me to prison for something I didn't do. I don't even know nothing about mortgage fraud, all of that kind of stuff like that. But I do know this, and God knows, I didn't do that. Should I have known what's going on in the business? I guess because I was part owner of it. But I didn't. I was on the wrong playing field. And amazingly, how great our government is, how they all set you up for none other reason just to say they won. It's a shame. It's a crying shame. What they even doing to me now is crying shame. I didn't know nothing about appeal. Again, I'm standing up pleading guilty to an entity, People's Choice Home Loans, that had been out of business 9, 10, 11 months. They're out of business. The judge tell me, after we filed a motion, finally realizing, the judge tell me, well, if Eugene Lockhart would have went on Portal, he would have saw that this entity was out of business, and we wouldn't even be sitting here. We wouldn't even have a case. He said, but because he didn't. Well, it doesn't matter. You were still wrong. Why does time matter? You was wrong the way you treated me. And why should I have to go into a portal? I have an attorney here. He should have went on the portal and understood that we don't even have a case. But I pleaded guilty. I went to court for something I didn't, that an entity that wasn't even there.
How long were you in prison?
They gave me 54 months. I did about three and a half months, so 3 years and some more months. And to this day, so what happened then is we filed in the Fifth Circuit. The 3 judges told them that they was emphatically wrong about the way they treated us. They were wrong. And the Fifth Circuit remanded them to bring them out of prison, resentence, and redo their restitution. They took 1.3, they did everybody's restitution. Remember, this is a joint and several case. They took $1.3 million off of mine. 7 months later, they cooked the books and put it back on without a hearing. I had no idea. They put it back on me. Now, again, this is for the same entity that's dead and gone. They put mine back on. And then they have a trustee, Greenspan, called and offered me a deal. I give him the money they asked for. Still, no justice for me. I've been fighting this for 20 years. They've been, Megan Fahey told me and my wife that she's gonna make sure that we broke for the rest of our lives. Our government. Now, Godby is on the line right now. Godby is the judge now, and he did give us a chance. He did, like he was a fair guy, fair man, and things like that, because he let us get back in court, because we showed him where my Sixth Amendment right was violated. I didn't know nothing about appeal. Gotta remember, 16 concussions. I don't know nothing about this, and then I have an attorney. I don't even get a chance to appeal mine, so I'm violating my Sixth Amendment right. You guys know what the Sixth Amendment right is, for a trial and all of this.
Due process.
Yeah, but so Judge Godby did let us back in court, but now the government has answered. We have answered. It's been now sitting on his desk for 4.5 months. Now they have people following me, trying to see if I'm going to do something wrong so they can put me back in jail so I don't have to pay them again. So they don't have to give me the money. It's just it's terrible. Not only did I go to jail, not only did I come out and I'm still serving God's people, I'm doing things the right way, yet and still, I've already been awarded the concussion money, but if Judge Godby don't sign this paper, I can't get it. Even with all the $3-4 million surgeries I need it. But this is the government. This is what we serve. This is why it's so important to have an idea who Jesus Christ is. You saw the eclipse, didn't you? Y'all saw the eclipse?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. And you know, we know that the sun is 400 times larger than the moon. We know that. Don't we know that? But because it's so far away, they look the same size. And the clouds and the moon, it covers the S-U-N, the sun. But one thing about the Son of God, you can't cover him. I don't care how many clouds you may have, how many moons there may be. I don't care what large it looks like. You can't cover Jesus' son.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. You know what I want you to do right now? I want you to tell us about all the things that you're doing in the community, because you said, you know, with helping the people get the food and bring us up to date who that's for and who you're working with.
I started this. We started this some 27 years ago, and you know, God gives you different talents, and you know, the talent to give, speaking in tongues, discernment, all these different types of talents. He gave me the one of giving. Sometimes I ask me, Lord, why you give me something else? You know, I'm giving. So we started out with like 50 turkeys. I started doing 50 turkeys back in my hometown. 50 became 500, and it just escalated. Surrounded myself with great sponsors. Dr. East is a great sponsor. Dr. Carl Pepper is great sponsors. Vanessa King, great sponsors. Just different people are great sponsors that has been doing this together for 27 years. And last year, my mom was in the hospital in Houston, and she was still on the incubator. And that was the first year I wasn't going to do it. Because if something would have happened to my mom and I was going to give out some turkeys, it'll destroy me. But I heard a word from the Lord that said, look here, everybody know that if there was anything that you could do for your mom right there, you'd already did it. There's nothing else you can do, but she's in my hands. Therefore, I came and got me a big U-Haul truck. And man, I was more happier then because I had a word from him. So I'm showing up. I didn't have time to get all my sponsors in, but the thing that I was trying to figure out, God had already worked out. So I'm just telling you, when I show up and I tell them how many turkeys I need and didn't have enough money, they would give me even more. So we did over 10,000 turkeys last year and smoked about 3,500. And we give those to the older people that can't come out and get them. We go from East Texas to San Antonio, and you just name it all the way around here. But it's some great stories that you get out of it, man. And one of my favorites is when this old woman, she was about Dorset height, about Dorset height. She came and man, she was so happy and she grabbed me by my leg. That's how short she was. She grabbed me, and she said, "You know that?" She said, "You know what? There are some times," she said, "there are times we may not even eat. We may not even eat. Look at this journey. Look at this journey. We may not even eat." She said, "But there's one day that we know that we're gonna be fed." Now, what if I don't show up? Like the Cowboys sometimes at Green Bay, they don't show up. What if I don't show up? Then people, what if I did decide to quit 23 years ago? I wouldn't see my daddy. The journey, my journey has been interesting. But I'm still smiling. I still have joy in my heart, man. And then what we do when school get ready to start back up, we'll get backpacks, school supplies. When it starts to turn cold, we go get coat, caps, gloves, blankets, socks, all of those type of things. We try to stay involved because we understand this. We are only here to serve. That's the number one thing that God wants us to do. You remember when Peter asked him, he said, "Lord, what does you want me to do?" He said, "Feed my sheep." He asked him that 3 times. Told him the same thing. So I'm telling this artist right now, whatever you're doing, feed God's sheep. And remember, if you never remember nothing else from me, you don't have to look for it. Just go to the 4 Gospels. And if you live your life according to that, everything will be all right. Because, we all want to hear him say, "My good and faithful servant, you've been faithful over a few things. Come on up and I'll make you rule over many." Neither one of us want to hear him say, "Flee from me, I know you're not." So therefore, I'm just saying, on this journey called life, it's not about you. It's really not about you at all. It's about what you do for others. And we're just trying to follow Jesus. He did the same thing. So as long as we can do that, Scott, I don't know if you want to talk sports or my journey about my life, or I don't know, man. But I know that I want to continue to be up under you because you've been a great soldier. You've been your journey exemplifies what a person's life in your character that has a forum for so many years, 50, 60 years, and you are so different from all the rest. And the love that you portray, the love you have shown me, and so many. Your journey is unlike any other commentator, any other person that I can think of. And I know you could have been quit a long time ago, but you have no quitting sense, because I do believe that you understand your journey. And through your journey, you have saved so many people and helped so many people in so many different ways. It has to be heartfelt to seeing you continuously to reach deep every single day and make differences in people's lives. And I love you. I love you, brother. I love you. And we will continue to do some great things in people's lives. We will. We will. It's not by accident nor coincidence that we're together. God's got a plan, and he will reveal it. So I do thank you guys for having me here. It's awesome.
Well, thank you for your over-the-top kind comments. I really appreciate it, Eugene. As I've said before, I lost my best friend to leukemia when I was 7 years old. And I learned then that, you live your life as a go-getter, but you got to share your life as a go-giver.
There you go.
And you got to make a difference in the lives of those that need it most. And so, whether it's someone like you, Eugene, that I, covered as a football player, and then you had some issues after that, or just some small child that doesn't have a mom or a dad and doesn't know where they're going or what they're doing, almost like you were explaining about what it was like and the relationship that you eventually had with the good Lord and what have you. Just try to do what you can, but you're very kind with your comments. I appreciate it. If we can make a difference out there, we just need to be more of that. That this world has become not nearly as kind, courteous, and respectful as it once was, and we need to bring the civility back to it, and let people know how important they are, and we can all be a positive, productive, purposeful person in our life if we just move forward in a positive, productive way.
There's no doubt, man. And I tell you, this journey is ridiculously hard to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, there was a young lady named Michelle Huff that really helped me tremendously. Was there. People that gave phone calls every once in a while was there. But she stayed there, and she helped me tremendously to get. I'm talking about, man, I couldn't walk. I could not get up. I couldn't do absolutely anything. Zero. And for a person that's accustomed to getting up every morning and going, trying to find the way, and then to just have to just sit still, almost runs you crazy. Mm. And then in your mind, you know what you've done before, how you prepared yourself before, but because your body is beaten and broken, torn and blooded, you want to do it, your mind say yeah, but your body say no. And at that time, it's perhaps the hardest time in a person's life, especially when there's nobody there. I don't remember. Perhaps maybe 5 friends that would reach out. Randy White was one of them. Randy White was one of the guys. But Michelle, she helped nurse me back. She done, I'm talking about everything, if it was food or whatever it was that I needed. I got to give her credit because she was there. You know, my son's mom came by. My sisters came from East Texas, and our friends, some girlfriends here came by. But I tell you, when you're in that room alone, and for an athlete, man, for somebody this is all they do is get up and go run, lift weights, and try to get better. And man, to be stable. And then your mind starts to wonder, when am I going to ever get over this? That's why I had the 7 surgeries in that 1 year last year, because that's not the way the hit machine is supposed to live. Mm-hmm. The hit machine got to get his butt up from here. He got to go. I'm talking about there's somebody out there waiting on me. I don't have time to sit there laying down here feeling sorry for myself and acting like I can't get up. Man, get up and move. What are you doing? So I have to encourage myself. When there ain't nobody else that encourage you, encourage yourself. Smile and laugh. Just start laughing. Get all that stuff out of your system, because that's when you can find joy in yourself. You don't need nobody else. Just start just laughing. People think you crazy as hell. Y'all think you crazy. What is wrong with him? What is wrong with him? Hey, encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. Yeah, man. And we can do this. We can do what form you guys have, man. We can do this. We can make a difference in people's lives, man.
Well, let me do this, because we're right at the end. We're heading down the home stretch here.
No, this ain't the end. It may be the end of this interview, but it ain't the end of the story.
But I want you, as we wrap things up here, I want you to share with all the people that have been listening to everything you've been saying. What's the closing message, Eugene, that you'd like to share with all of them about moving forward, staying, as we were talking about, staying positive, and all the things that you look into the good Lord? And what is the message that you would say to children that are growing up and looking up to somebody like you, say, oh, I want to play in the Dallas Cowboys someday, or just anything along those lines? Is there a closing message in this world that we all live in now that's in a lot of ways crazy and you wonder, come on, folks, let's be kind and courteous to one another. What's the message that you might wrap us up here with today that you'd like to share with everybody?
It's vitally imperative that we understand higher power. I know, and I don't want to sound like I'm preaching or anything like that, but we have to understand that everybody that appears to be your friend is not. There are some that will smile in your face and be the same ones that go across town and tear you down. We can't trust our government. We know all the things that, I know all the things that they've done with me and how they continue to do it to me now. I've been awarded, you know, the proofs are there. But they still have the knees on my neck. The one thing, if you remember nothing else, don't let anybody steal your heart. You have to guard your heart. Guard your heart. Guard it with all your life. Because people will come into your life just for a season and leave you heartless. So again, don't ever give up on your faith. And always remember this. Life is just not about you. You have to turn and help somebody sometime. Life ain't about you win. You can't win in life all the time. You can't take advantage of people and expect good things to happen to you. Be willing to open up your heart and allow God to use the love and the joy and the things that he's given you that you can share. He doesn't bless us so we can beast and boast about it. He blesses us so we can be blessings to others. To be blessings to others. There are some people that, you know, I don't know, and I care not to talk about other people. I just know me. There may come times in your life when it looks really hard, when you have more bills than you have money. There are going to be some difficult days ahead. And Martin Luther King said it best. He said, I'm going to the mountaintop. If there is any kind of thing that I would love to leave you with is, you know your destiny, and don't stop until you get there. Martin Luther King's destiny was, I'm going to the mountaintop. The thing I want you to do is to discover what your mountaintop is. And regardless of whatever happens to you, don't you keep your eyes on your ultimate thing, and that's to get to your mountaintop. Knowing that sometimes in life, you may turn to the right and something going wrong on the right side, and turn to your left and it's going worse on the left side. But you can't worry about the wrong thing. You got your eyes on your destiny. You got your eyes on your ultimate goal. So don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nothing stop you, because keep your focus on what you are here for. You keep your focus on who you are. A mentality. It's something about you that makes you different. There's got to be something about you that makes you want to get up in the morning, show up, and never give up. My name is Eugene Lockhart, Jr., and I approve this message.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And I tell you what, I had no idea that you were going through for that period of time when you were in the hospital like that. So great to see you up and healthy.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks so much for being here. Certainly thanks for all the great days with the Dallas Cowboys.
Man.
But more importantly, thanks for your message today.
I thank you for your friendship, and I thank you guys for having me, man. And you guys are wonderful, and I feel so much better. I feel like I've been uplifting myself.
Well,
I'm
good.
holding some of it in, and with that, hey, let's get busy.
Well, thanks for taking the time to come over here and be a part of the program. Name of the show is called Journey Through Sports and Life for Marnie and Marjorie and the man himself. We're talking about one of the great linebackers in Dallas Cowboys history, Eugene Lockhart, the hitting machine. Till next time, I'm Scott Murray. Stay safe, be well, and be kind to one another.
There you go.
Ever find yourself in the market for video production or event audio visual services? Large or small, indoors or out, Murray Media does it all. concepts, scripting, filming, editing, producing, directing, corporate conferences, on-site live events, hybrid productions, Zoom webinars, streaming virtual broadcasts, and podcast programming in our state-of-the-art recording studios. From creation to conclusion, the Emmy Award-winning, nationally respected team at Murray Media will get your job done professionally, efficiently, and competitively. Our staff of media professionals remain committed, compassionate, and character-driven in their daily effort to create, capture, and compose the most compelling product possible. From corporate shows to industrial videos, charity galas to special events, even those with well-known celebrities in the house, television programs, TV commercials, PSAs, and website videos for professional or personal use. Check it out, our website, murraymedia.net. That's Murray Media, always poised to video your world.